Hello, friends. Today I want to return to a topic which I first tackled 2 years ago, which is about the redevelopment of the Meiji Jingu Shrine Gaien, so-called Gaien, the what would you call it? The outer garden, perhaps, in Tokyo, um, where there is a redevelopment plan which was discussed 2 years ago, and the governor of Tokyo, Yuriko Koike, tried to uh, get the plan realized 2 years ago. And there was some opposition, quite a lot of opposition, including from UN-related bodies. And she backed off, but she's back again. And here we go again, as it were, which is what's forced me to once more uh, create a video. I've already done two videos related to this topic. And what's particularly triggered me this time is a press conference at the FCCJ, which is the Foreign Correspondents Club of Japan in Tokyo. And they discussed the redevelopment plan and opposition to it from various points of view. I come at it from the point of view of defending Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium, Prince Chichibu's rugby stadium. But there are various other elements in the park, the Gaien, and there's, for example, a baseball ground, famous one, the Jingu baseball ground. And there's an art gallery, which is the Meiji Shrines Art Gallery, where I've given a lecture myself actually once on Ernest Sato. There are tennis courts. There's a line of ginkgo trees. Um, so there's environmental issues in redevelopment as well. So it's basically it's a mix of cultural and environmental issues altogether. As you will see if you take a look at the FCCJ press conference, and I'm going to share um, the YouTube of that press conference now. Let's take a look. Okay, here's the press conference. I'm not going to play anything of it. Well, that was Robert Whiting just then. So Robert Whiting, the famous writer on baseball, and two politicians. They're actually both Japan Communist Party. And on the right, we have, I think it's Dan Sloan, who's the um, chairing the panel. And anyway, it says press conference, opponents ask Tokyo Governor Koike to halt Gaien redevelopment. So if you're interested, this is a bilingual video, and I strongly recommend that you take a look at it. It's actually 1 hour or so of video in Japanese and English. So that's what has prompted me to make this video. The fact that Governor Koike has returned to this plan, and my opposition is as before, stands firm. Okay, and I will show you while we're here. I will show you the videos that I made 2 years ago. This one is Meiji Jingu Gaien Redevelopment. Why not just upgrade the stadia and not move them? And most of this video shows, if I can find it, it shows the illustration. I don't know, it's not appearing. There it is. There it is there. That's uh, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government's idea of how the park would look after redevelopment. Of course, there's lots of money in redevelopment to be made. Um, anyway, that's what that looks like. Uh, Let me see. How long was my video? I think it was about 10 minutes, all in English, that one. And if I could just go back. Yeah, how long was it? I think 10 minutes. All right. So, and then the other one I made was about Prince Chichibu. What kind of person was he? Well, this is obviously an advertisement, so I want to move on from that. But anyway, I talk about, in English, I talk about Prince Chichibu, based on chapter 3 of a book called Britain and Japan Biographical Portraits, Volume 5. So there's the explanation right there. And this is the outline of the talk. So introduction with a blue theme. Blue because I was feeling a bit blue when I made that video. And also because it was because of Sonic's Blues, which had recently been disbanded. Dorothy Britton is the person who wrote the chapter about Prince Chichibu in that book that I just mentioned. And I read some extracts from the portrait and so on. So let me see. That's up to 295 views as of the present. But anyway, it's I think the value of this particular video, which is Prince Chichibu, what kind of person was he, is that Japanese people as well as foreigners know very little about Prince Chichibu, after whom the rugby stadium is named. And by the way, this is the only sports stadium in Japan which is named after an individual. And then, okay, if we just let go of these and go back, I just want to show you another document. Let me see. I want to share this one as well. That's the one. Okay, so this is a history of the rugby stadium, and this is not very long, and I'm going to read it now. But I think it would be of some interest from the point of view of informing those who watch this video. So here we go. History of Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium. Before World War II, rugby matches in the Kanto region were held at Meiji Jingu Stadium, which was used almost exclusively as a rugby ground. However, after the war, the stadium was requisitioned by the US military, renamed Niall Kinnick Stadium. That was a famous football player, I think, American, and became inaccessible to Japanese people. As a result, rugby matches had to be held at Jingu Baseball Stadium or Korakuen Stadium, now Tokyo Dome. Around 1947, the Kanto Rugby Association began searching for a site to build a new dedicated rugby stadium. During this time, Hiroshi Ijuin, a Meiji University graduate and association director, found the land that is now Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium. At the time, the site was the burnt remains of the former Girls Gakushuin School and was being used as a parking lot by the US military. With funds from war and fire insurance money provided by then-chairman Bun Kayama, along with donations from university alumni, the construction project was secured. The efforts of rugby players who volunteered their labour also contributed to the project, and in November 1947, Tokyo Rugby Stadium was completed. The funds collected were a precious result of great effort and sacrifice. Some sold their watches and cameras, while others sold their household carpets, driven by a passionate desire to build a home for their hearts. On one rainy day when construction had begun, Prince Chichibu visited the site despite his poor health, wearing rubber boots to encourage the workers. He bowed his head to the Kashima representative, saying, "The Rugby Association is poor, so please help us." I couldn't hold back my tears, Kayama later wrote emotionally in the Mainichi Shimbun newspaper. On September the 8th, 1952, a team of the finest players from Oxford University visited Japan. Despite being ill for over a decade, Prince Chichibu came to the field on September the 14th for the first match, enduring the intense late summer heat to shake hands with each player. Tragically, on January the 4th of the following year at 4:30 a.m., Prince Chichibu passed away at his villa in Kugenuma, Fujisawa City, at the age of 49. In 1953, in memory of Prince Chichibu's virtues, the stadium was renamed Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium and transferred to the National Stadium. Even today, it is commonly referred to by this name. Before Oxford University's visit, the stadium's stands, which had previously been simple mounds of earth, were transformed into reinforced concrete main stands, and a clubhouse was built where people could truly enjoy the spirit of no side. During the 1950s, the rent for the rugby field continued to increase each year, exceeding 30 million yen in total, and in October 1962 it was transferred to the National Stadium. Then, in 1963, night lighting and a roof were installed on the main stand. And in 1964, the stands were remodeled, the ground was improved, and grass was laid in preparation for the stadium being used as a soccer venue for the Tokyo Olympics. In the autumn of 1965, after the Tokyo Olympics, a youth rugby school was opened with the aim of cultivating a spirit of independence and self-reliance through spirited competition. In September 1971, a new clubhouse was completed, and the first match was a test match against England. I think that was the one where England only won 6 points to 3, if I remember rightly. The rugby field was filled to capacity for this game, and spectators had to be allowed onto the grass surrounding the ground. This overcrowding incident prompted a major renovation. The start of this construction was delayed due to skyrocketing prices and the oil crisis, but renovation work, mainly on the main stand, took over 3 years and was completed in September 1976. As a result of this work, the facility could now accommodate approximately 21,400 people. Then, in 1978 and 1981, an artificial turf practice field to be used in conjunction with the tennis courts was completed, and in 1980 a new south stand was built, increasing the stadium's capacity to 23,500. I think it's about that at the moment, or possibly slightly more. Renovation work, mainly on the back stands, which the Rugby Association had been eagerly hoping for since the major renovation in 1976, began in 1986. This increased the stadium's capacity to 30,490. Further renovations have been carried out since then, and in 2009 renovations were completed to enable the stadium to accommodate foreign athletes using the construction of a new lounge, the installation of toilets with large seats that can be used comfortably by larger athletes, the installation of wide lockers and ice baths, etc., in preparation for the Junior World Cup. That happened in that year, actually. I remember I was part of the volunteer press corps. Furthermore, with Japan's bid to host the 2019 Rugby World Cup having been confirmed, history will continue to be made in Aoyama. So obviously this was written before 2019. Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium is a holy ground for all rugby fans, not just former rugby players. And here's a note. This is an AI translation from Japanese and so must be treated with caution. The original is from the Japan Sport Council website, and there's the reference, the URL for that, for the original in Japanese. Okay, and the Japan Sport Council now, as I understand it, own the stadium. So what's happened really is that the Ministry of Education has sort of given the green light for the rugby stadium to be effectively demolished, and as the first part of a very complex redevelopment plan. But they did it as the video from the FCCJ show, the press conference shows, or states, they did this with great speed. Took about a week or 10 days before they gave permission, which in itself is not doesn't fill one with confidence that things have been properly discussed in a democratic fashion. I may be okay. Let's stop sharing this now, shall we? Stop the share. Yeah, perhaps I'm a lone voice for the rugby stadium. I don't really care. I mean, this is what I happen to think. And you wouldn't get many supporters of demolishing Twickenham or Murrayfield or any of those famous traditional rugby stadiums and moving them sort of to next door or something. But this is what's happening with this very traditional and wonderful facility in the middle of Tokyo. Now, I understand that the stadium itself could be upgraded and should be upgraded. It's not state of the art by any means. We have a pretty much state of the art stadium down here in Kee-tah-kew-shoo, which uh, Japan use. They played Wales in that stadium earlier this year. Um, so that kind of upgrade would be a lot cheaper and would preserve the site, um, which is so-called sacred ground in Japanese, seichi, for Japanese rugby players. So why? What the proposal is to demolish Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium, put the Jingu, move the Jingu baseball to where the Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium is now, and create for rugby. You create a new rugby facility somewhere near where the baseball stadium was, so swapping them round effectively. And it would be an indoor facility, only 17,000 people capacity, and also it'd be possible to have it as a concert venue. Um, but I think this is downgrading, and I want to be part of the fight to save not only Chichibunomiya Rugby Stadium, but to prevent this redevelopment as a whole, because I don't think it's good for anybody except the developers, uh, who will no doubt make a lot of money. Uh, the park was originally um, given to the citizens of Tokyo by a group which was headed by the famous Japanese industrialist Shibusawa Eiichi. And it is a precious lung of Tokyo. We talk about the parks in London being London's lungs. Well, there's precious few green spaces in Tokyo, and this is one of them. And it is indeed precious, I can assure you. I don't live in Tokyo. I live well to the west in Kyushu, a city called Kee-tah-kew-shoo. Um, I don't visit Tokyo very much these days, but I have been there on many occasions in the past and been to the stadium on many occasions as well. And it is a historic stadium. For example, it's the stadium where Japan first uh, defeated an international rugby board member, which was Scotland, back in, when would it be? About, I think, 1991, or possibly 1989. I can't remember exactly, but it was a huge event at the time, and some famous players were involved. I'm pretty sure the Kobe Locks, Hayashi and Oyagi were in that team, and so on and so forth. So that's just one example of one of the famous games that have taken place in that rugby stadium. So the other thing which surprises me is I can't really find many Japanese rugby supporters who who are up in arms. In fact, I can't find any. And I have attempted to, well, I wrote a bilingual message and attached the FCCJ video to it and attempted to send that to a couple of Facebook groups, one supporters of Japan, uh, and the other something called Rugby Family. And so far, my attempts to post to those groups, of which I'm a member, has have not succeeded. So I suppose they only want to talk about the results of the the current Japan rugby team, and in the case of rugby family, maybe sort of local teams. Anyway, so this is why I am making this video to attempt to cast further onto the internet at least what I think about this. Okay, well, I think I better stop there and see you again soon. Goodbye now. Bye.